How many gods people believe in? What is God? Well, this is an interesting, profound, and probably the oldest question that humans are following. And maybe we, as a human, are still at the same point where we would have started our quest. We have seen thousands of religious scholars, philosophers, thinkers, even scientists contemplating this question for centuries. In our quest of finding our existence, this question is of utter importance. What is God? This is not just a question of who is God or what is God, but it is a representative of a sequence of questions. Who are we? Who created us? What is our purpose? Is there someone who controls us, or we are on our own? What is the purpose of this life? What should we really do in this life? And many more. God is just a concept that represents all our curiosity about life and our purpose in this life, or beyond this life if there is any. Searching for God means we are in a pursuit of finding answers for above questions. So there is no definitive answer for what is God, and probably no one knows the real answer. But people still believe in divine powers or something mystic that they call God. So here, we will briefly try to find out how many gods or godlike powers people believe in. It's a huge study to understand how many gods or godlike concepts or higher powers or mystic elements people believe in, because it's been thousands of years since humans started thinking logically, or to be precise, humans are curious about their existence. We will try to list or compile some of the known gods or godlike concepts. We could segregate these beliefs in few groups: religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, mythological beliefs, scientific beliefs. Religious beliefs. Although religion itself is a wide subject to discuss, here we will only focus on religious beliefs about God or godlike powers. Jews, Christianity, Islam are monotheist religions. They share some common narrative and beliefs. Worship one God who has no physical form, who is eternal and omnipotent. God created the humans, planets, stars, and everything in this universe. He is responsible for everything happening in this world. According to their beliefs, God communicates with humans through sacred scriptures and prophets. A key element is the belief in prophets who served as intermediaries to transmit God's will. Common concepts are Day of Judgment, resurrection of the dead, and the peak of history in a world to come, with reward for the righteous and punishment for the sinners. Religions like Hindus believe in one supreme reality that is Brahma. Believers in Hindu tradition pray to Nirakar Brahma, that is God who is shapeless, sizeless, or without any physical appearance. This Brahma expresses itself through many deities or symbolic gods, so the followers pray to the god through these deities. In contrast, followers in Buddhist religion do not believe in God as a creator. They believe in divine beings like Bodhisattva as a driving force of this universe. Chinese folk religion believes in many gods, spirits, and immortals. According to the Japanese Shinto, kami, the spirits or deities inhabit natural forces like rivers, soil, mountains, living things like trees, animals. African, American, Australian, and other tribes believe in many local gods. Ancestors and natural spirits are prime reasons for universal activities, including human birth and death, and their fate. Philosophical beliefs. Philosophical scholars are also searching for reasons for the existence of the universe, purpose of human life, and who is behind all this. With their contemplation about human experience, process of self-awareness, and inherent thought from previous philosophers, they came to different conclusions. Some philosophers believe in a single, universal consciousness, like pantheism proposed by philosophers Baruch Spinoza, 17th century. God and nature are the same reality, one infinite substance with infinite modes. Everything you experience is God experiencing itself in a particular form. As per Vedanta philosophy, Brahman is infinite consciousness, the essence of all existence. The individual that is Atma is not separate from Brahman. Buddhist philosophy also agrees with this saying. Pratitya samutpad means nothing exists independently. Everything arises from everything else. Idealism. Philosophers like George Berkeley, Hegel, and Schopenhauer argued that mind or consciousness is primary, not matter. Matter exists because it is perceived. Esse est percipi. To be is to be perceived. Panpsychism. Everything in the universe, electrons, matters, planets, stars, possesses some rudimentary form of consciousness. The universe is like a cosmic network of awareness, varying in complexity. Thinkers like David Chalmers and Philip Goff explore the idea of panpsychism. Alfred North Whitehead's metaphysics described a universe in which all entities experience. He needed a new way of describing perception that was not limited to living, self-conscious beings. The term he coined was prehension, which comes from the Latin prehensio, meaning to seize. The term is meant to indicate a kind of perception that can be conscious or unconscious, applying to people as well as electrons. Conceptual deities like nature, energy, or the universe. Belief in conceptual deities, or in a divine principle rather than a personal God, runs through many major philosophers, from the ancient Greeks to modern scientists. They didn't worship gods, but revered concepts like nature, reason, or the universe as sacred realities. Key philosophers, and some modern thinkers, who align with that view are Baruch de Spinoza, 17th century. Spinoza's metaphysics consists of one thing, substance, and its modifications, modes. Spinoza said that only one substance is absolutely infinite, self-caused, and eternal. He calls this substance God, or nature. He takes these two terms to be synonymous. In the Latin, the phrase he uses is Deus sive natura. For Spinoza, the whole of the natural universe consists of one substance, God, or, what is the same, nature, and its modifications, modes. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 18th century, emphasized direct, holistic observation of nature, moving beyond purely mathematical or mechanistic models. He believed a divine idea is expressed through the phenomena of nature, and sought to understand this through intuition and empathy. Friedrich Wilhelm Joseph Schelling, 18th century, Philosophy of Nature, Naturphilosophie. A central tenet, this approach views nature not as dead or incapable matter, but as a living, evolving organism filled with spiritual significance. Principle of identity. This principle states that mind and nature are fundamentally one, two aspects of the same underlying reality, both governed by the same creative force. Intellectual intuition. A concept that explains how humans can directly apprehend the absolute, the fundamental unity of existence, bypassing ordinary conscious thought. Organicism. The idea that all things, from the smallest organism to the entire cosmos, are part of a single, interconnected, and evolving whole. The central thought of these philosophers are, the universe is not made of matter, it is made of consciousness. Matter, energy, time, and space are the expressions of the mind itself. Mythological beliefs. When we talk about mythological beliefs in God, we mean the ways ancient and even modern societies imagine divine powers through stories, symbols, and personified forces, gods, goddesses, spirits, creators, and cosmic beings. When we count gods, demigods, and divine beings from mythology and cultural traditions across history, there are easily over 10,000 named deities recorded in mythological literature. Scholars estimate that if we include every local deity, spirit, or sacred power ever worshipped, The number might exceed 100,000 to 1 million. Some of the deities from different mythologies. Greek mythology: Zeus, Athena, Apollo, Hades, Gaia. Roman mythology: Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Neptune. Egyptian mythology: Ra, Osiris, Isis, Anubis, Ma'at. Norse mythology: Odin, Thor, Freya, Loki. Hindu mythology: Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv, Indra. Mesopotamian mythology: Anu, Enlil, Inanna, Marduk. Chinese mythology: Pangu, Nua, Jade Emperor. Aztec/Mayan mythology: Quetzalcoatl, Huitzilopochtli. African mythologies: Olodumare, Nyame, Shango. Philosophical interpretation of mythological beliefs. Many philosophers and mystics saw mythology not as superstition, but as symbolic truth. Plato viewed myth as a crucial tool for education and philosophical understanding, using both traditional and his own invented myths to convey complex ideas that might be too difficult to explain through strict reason alone. Joseph Campbell. All myths are variations of a monomyth, the hero's journey, symbolizing human spiritual evolution. Carl Jung. Carl Jung viewed mythology as the collective, universal expression of the deepest, inherited layers of the human psyche. He believed myths are not fabricated stories, but spontaneous revelations of the collective unconscious, the well of inherited archetypes and motifs shared by all humanity. Mircea Eliade. Myths connect humans to sacred time, the eternal truth behind history. Scientific beliefs. Traditional religion sees God as a being, creator, judge, protector. Modern science, however, sees patterns, laws, and origins, not personalities. So, science doesn't believe in God, but it explores the same questions that gave birth to belief. Where did the universe come from? Why is there order in chaos? How did consciousness arise? Why do physical laws exist at all? Many scientists and thinkers interpret God as a symbol of these mysteries, the totality of natural law, consciousness, and existence itself. Quantum consciousness. Controversial but intriguing. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that observation affects reality, implying consciousness plays a role in existence itself. The universe doesn't just contain consciousness, it is consciousness observing itself. Integrated Information Theory, IIT. Proposed by Giulio Tononi, this theory suggests that consciousness arises from integrated information, meaning the universe may have a consciousness field at all scales. Pantheistic view, Einstein, Spinoza. God is equal to nature or the universe itself. The divine is the harmony of natural laws. Agnostic, Scientific realism, Hawking, Feynman. The universe can be explained by physics. God is unnecessary but symbolic. Deistic view, Newton, Voltaire. God created the universe and its laws, but doesn't interfere. Deepak Chopra, modern spiritual. The cosmos as a field of pure consciousness. God as energy, not a being. So in conclusion, it is not easy to summarize into one list or into one segment that how many gods or godlike powers people believe in, because in human history, numerous individuals, institutions, and communities expressed their version of God or their version of metaphysics in various ways as per their experience and/or experiments. The quest for the existence of reality, or the search for God, is still in progress.